Bitter criticism. The 47-minute session. I guess it's right there. Cool. Let's do it. Let's rock. Woo. Let's scream. Screaming session with the trucks. Woo. Screaming session. Let's read it all again. Russia Today. Russia Today. No. I will start with Pepe Escobar. Pepe Escobar Telegram. Telegram is still there. Zero Edge. Brazilian judge orders immediate suspension of X Twitter. And says, Pepe Escobar Telegram. Judge bans X in Brazil for refusing to comply with demands. Zero Edge. It's complex, you know. This is very, very complex. The left wing in Brazil, they love Xandão, Alexandre de Moraes. But PCO, a Marxist Trotskyist organization, which I feel I belong to. It's just a feeling. It's just a feeling. I don't belong actually. For this that nowadays I cannot help them, but they need help. They are absolutely independent. If you say they are revolutionary, understand? They are communist, Trotskyist. And anyway, Zero Edge. Judge bans X in Brazil for refusing to comply with demands. This is by Tyler Durden on Zero Edge. I only have 18% of battery in this very cell phone of the internet, so maybe I guess I'm going to do it. But maybe I will end it up at 40 minutes something. Again, Judge bans X in Brazil for refusing to comply with demands by Tyler Durden. Friday, August 30, 2024. As we previewed overnight, Elon Musk's X has been ordered immediately suspended by Brazilian Supreme Court Judge Alexandre de Moraes, citing the company's refusal to comply with a legal order to censor the judge's political opponents, Bloomberg reports. Officially, the ruling was due to Musk's refusal to name a legal representative for the social network after the judge froze his last attorney's bank accounts. On Thursday, ex-Global Government Affairs account said that it will not comply in secret with illegal orders and said that it will publish Moraes' demands and related court documents for transparency. More. When we attempted to defend ourselves in court, Judge de Moraes threatened our Brazilian legal representative with imprisonment. Even after she resigned, he froze all of her bank accounts. I don't know who is she. Maybe this is a bad, because Alexandre is a man. I will read again more. When we attempt to defend ourselves in court, Judge de Moraes threatened our Brazilian legal representative with imprisonment. Oh, he's a woman representing a former Twitter X social media. Even after she resigned, he froze all of her bank accounts. Our challenges against his manifestly illegal actions were either dismissed or ignored. Judge de Moraes' colleagues on the Supreme Court are either unwilling or unable to stand up to him. We are absolutely not insisting that other countries have the same free speech laws as the United States. The fundamental issue at the stake here is that Judge de Moraes demands we break Brazil's own laws. De Moraes demands we break Brazil's own laws. I don't know the details, you know. We simply won't do that. I will read again. We are absolutely not insisting that other countries have the same free speech laws as the United States. The fundamental issue at stake here is that Judge de Moraes demands we break Brazil's own laws. We simply won't do that. I'm kind of lost here. I don't know who is who trying to break Brazilian laws. In the days to come, we will publish all the Judge de Moraes' illegal demands and all related core feeling in the interest of transparency. Unlike other social media and technology platforms, we will not comply in secret with illegal orders. To our users in Brazil and around the world, X remains committed to protecting our freedom of speech. On August 18, Moraes sanctioned X bank accounts in order to guarantee the payment of fines imposed by the Brazilian justice for refusing to censor content. Metropolis reports. Metropolis is a Brazilian newspaper based in Bahia, I guess. According to information published by G1 and confirmed by the Metropolis, advisor to the office of Minister Alexandre de Moraes, said that other company under Musk in the country, Starlink Holding, responsible for the sale of satellite internet services, also had the finances blocked. All Starlink managers in Brazil received notifications and were supposed to answer for the values due to the Brazilian justice by Network X, Metropolis translated. In response, Musk called the Moraes a dictator and said, "This picture of you in prison will be real. Mark my words." What? We have a Twitter here. Well, you know what Brazilians said about Elon Musk? He's a playboy, like a rich, stupid guy. Elon Musk, the tyrant Alexandre is dictator of Brazil. Lula is his lapdog. What? Lula is his lapdog. So this guy is crazy. I'm kind of embarrassed because he's cancer just like me. But who knows? I want to know in 2 days ahead. I'm going to know the opinion of this Trotsky's party, which I think is valuable. And we have he retweeted actually. Dog designer breaking Alexandre de Moraes blocks financial accounts of Starlink in Brazil. All Starlink managers in Brazil have been notified and summoned to address the amount owed to Brazilian courts by the X as per Metropolis. So it's developing. This is a news in development. It's tricky, you know. It is tricky. Well, that's it. I will try to find another article from Pepe Escobar's Telegram. There's right here is another one, but I guess it's too long. No, it's not too long. Reminiscence of the Future. This is a blog. Civis pacem para vinum. Civis pacem para vinum. Andrei Martianov's blog. Thursday 29, from yesterday. It was flying peacefully, and then, for no particular reason, C just fell from the sky. US-made F-16 crashed in Ukraine, killing pilot. Kiev recently received 6 of the planes to boost its flight against Russia, a symbol of US support. No particular reason may involve some bad shit crazy Russian pilot Su-35 or Su-57 with Air 37 with mortgage in some nice suburban community. They don't play they don't pay themselves. Those houses, you know, or this no particular reason may involve X400 with 400 kilometers range, 40 NGE air defense. Also has mortgages, you know, or in the end, the airbase Kolomi was visited by Mr. Kinsal with follow up with 3M14s from the Sungbanxi flagship. So many possibilities. Per quote, symbols of US support, they are being destroyed in industrial quantities and being paraded as a burned junk all over Russia. Armor group of 4 independent motor rifle brigade and Akhmat guys attacked and captured yet another stronghold of VSU. Armor with mine clearing vehicle in action. The removal of trash continues. And that's it. So I guess I'm done with Pepe Escobar article. We have a meme from 1G and Jake Sullivan talking. A meme, a charge. The 1G Jake Sullivan talks in full. We have 1G saying, "Would you kindly stop using the Philippines, Australia, Taiwan, etc. to create conflict?" Jake Sullivan, "We are not doing that." "Okay, we are doing that just a little bit." "Okay, fine. Creating conflict is our entire foreign policy for this region. Please start a war." It's funny, I guess. Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to show you this Pepe Escobar Telegram. Can you see there's Jake Sullivan and Wang Ji? We don't respect these American guys in the global south, you know. We don't care about them. That's it. That was Pepe Escobar cultural. Yeah. I will try to catch the last one. There's an article from Juliana Titaeva. This is the woman of some institution of Brazil-Russia friendship. She's kind of beautiful, but my favorite Russian is Alla Bruletova or Filonenko from Instagram. So there's a post from Juliana Titaeva. I guess I'm going to follow her. Yeah, I'm going to well, Long life for Telegram. You know, this is why people are threatening Telegram. Telegram is so nice for global south. We can communicate. We can go to a lot of groups. You know, like this one, Juliana Titaeva. Russia's BRICS presidency year. Russia's BRICS presidency year is rich in events. In the run-up to the October summit of state leaders in Kazan, numerous meetings of ministers and working groups are taking place, as well as events that serve as platforms for the exchange of experience in various fields such as culture, business, fashion, finance, education, innovation, and many others. In the official event plan, I even saw something unusual, the BRICS Baking Cup. Thanks to the emergence of new connections and the establishment of cooperation between the countries of the Global South, plus Russia, the outlines of a new international relations system are taking shape before our eyes. This world will obviously be much more diverse than before. Well, the photo from the International Municipal Forum of BRICS countries held this week in Moscow. So yeah, I'm going to Juliana Titaeva, and now I just joined Juliana Titaeva page on Telegram. As you can see, Telegram is terrible for the global north, for imperialism. The bad thing is that you cannot talk. You only can chat. Actually, you just can chat in my I have a community on Telegram. It calls Sans Arms in France. Sans Arms. Geoeconomy over politics, I guess. Yeah. Nobody's there, just me and my friend. So I'm going to try to see more from Pepe Escobar. Just the last one. Pepe Escobar Telegram. Desperately seeking nature intervention by Kevin Bacho. Beyond Wasteland .net. Desperately. That's it. So this is an article from a blog. Desperately seeking nature. Beyond Wasteland .net. NET. Desperately seeking nature intervention. Ukraine is marooned in Russia's scorched region's archipelago of attrition, while Russia breaks through the Donbas impasse and into open international space towards the Dnieper River. This is from Kevin Bacho, August 29. Russia's cakewalk in the Donbass. So there's a map here for this 3 years war, I guess. 3 years terrible war for Ukraine. Anyway, and there's a lot of casualties among Russian civilians too. Anyway, after being stripped bare of resources by their high command, Ukrainian defenses are crumbling under the pressure of a Russian offensive in the Donbass. For the past 2 years of war, Russia has made incremental gains, but only at a high cost in blood and iron. Today, however, the rapid pace of Russian advances is running the Battle of Donbass into an unexpected cakewalk. The Ukrainian leadership has placed its Western partners in a dilemma by creating a void in the Donbass that either Russia or NATO must fill. Russian forces are rapidly advancing west toward the key Ukrainian transport hub, rail and road of Pokrovsk. Normally, Ukrainian troops and and materiel passed through Pokrovsk on their way to the front lines in the southern Donbass. Once Pokrovsk falls to Russia, Ukrainian logistics will be severely impacted. However, since Ukraine has essentially halted the supply of reserves and ammunition to their troops in this critical sector, the situation is already dire. Dire is terrible. I thought dire was kind of dry, but it's not dry, but terrible. I wonder what's Dire Straits, the band. Anyway, the situation already is terrible, dire. As a result, the capture of this logistical junction will be tempered by its diminished use. Though it will complicate any orderly Ukrainian withdrawals that are likely to follow. Russia captured the key town of Novorodivka in just 3 days with minimal effort. Ukrainian observers reported empty trenches and abandoned fortifications that offer no resistance against the advancing Russian soldiers. Last year, capturing such a town would have taken at least 4 months and left it in ruins. However, recent videos of Russian-occupied Novorodivka show the town largely intact. Even Ugledar, which for 2 years has been a thorn in Russia's side and the site of several disastrous frontal assaults, is now under threat of encirclement. This key fortress town, once a small workers' hamlet with many Soviet-built Midris residential towers, has proven difficult to conquer. The resilience of communist-era concrete construction has frustrated Russian Air Force efforts to level these sniper nests, preventing any direct assaults on the town. Finally, someone in the Russian General Staff devised a plan to launch pincer movements along both flanks, aiming to cut off escape routes out of the Ugledar. This week, Russian forces captured the key flank protecting town of Konstantinovka, which, like other recent conquests, remains mostly intact. Ugledar now faces a significant risk of operational encirclement, leaving its defenders with a stark choice: flee now or eventually die in place. We have a photograph: indestructible Ugledar, the scene of much Russian bloodshed and humiliation. This town will be razed to the ground once captured. This is terrible, guys. This is a Soviet city where Russians were abused by Nazi Ukrainians. And there was a lot of, I would say, genocide too, you know? Russian genocide by Nazi Ukrainians. Out of the large salient created by Russian offensives near Avdiivka, Russian forces are now beginning to sweep south and attack from the rear the parallel front lines 10 kilometers to the east. This situation is the very definition of an operational crisis. Ukrainian troops along this front line, some still manning powerful fortresses that have remained intact throughout the war, will either flee or face encirclement. This entire front could collapse by the end of September. Meanwhile, as the Russian salient expands west, there are only empty steppes between Russian armored units and the Dnieper River behind Pokrovsk. September may witness World War II style big arrow. September may witness World War II style big arrow sweeps with Russia capturing large swaths of Ukrainian territory. Once Russian forces reach the Dnieper, they can pivot north to either block or destroy the bridges Ukraine uses to supply its troops in the east. With most Ukrainian armor and reserves currently being depleted in the Kursk region, each kilometer Russia advances north along the Dnieper will further destabilize the front in the northern Donbas and Lugansk regions. Eventually, Russian forces could be in a position to attack Kharkov from the southwest, where no defensive lines exist. Many of these Russian advances are likely to unfold during the heat of the 2024 US presidential campaign. Meanwhile, as the 2-year stalemate in the Donbass collapses, Ukraine's quixotic incursion into Russia's Kursk region is losing momentum and settling into a stalemate of its own. In the Ukrainian occupied zone of Kursk, the rapid advances made during the first week of the invasion have stalled, giving way to a brutal war of attrition. Ukrainian forces now find themselves in a vulnerable salient, desperately committing more resources to extend their flanks on both sides. With Ukraine's fragile lines of communication often dependent on a single road, supplying these troops with material and manpower is becoming increasingly difficult. Russian aviation and drones dominate the skies, targeting Ukrainian heavy armor and light equipment. Each pile of burning steel today means one less Ukrainian tank tomorrow to challenge Russia's impending push toward the Dnieper. Russian artillery is finally in position and is now actively punishing any clustering of Ukrainian troops. Russia is steadily building a formidable defensive force in Kursk, drawing reserves primarily from other regions of Russia. Some units have been transferred from the stalled Kharkov region, which is now a lower priority for Russia. The strategic intent behind Russia's invasion of Kharkov was to ease the defensive burden in the Donbass by compelling Ukraine to shift troops to Kharkov. By invading Kursk, Ukraine has inadvertently advanced Russia's strategic goals, further depleting Ukrainian reserves from the Donbass. Ukraine claimed that the purpose of their invasion of Kursk was to draw Russian assets away from the Donbass. However, by all accounts, this strategy has failed. In fact, recent reports indicate that Russia has deployed 5 French brigades into the Donbass to reinforce the gains they are currently making. The viability of this invasion will be determined in the coming weeks. If Ukraine manages to expand in both directions along the Russian border, it could secure its flanks, transforming the salient into more of gradual hump. Russia's strategy is containment. They will not rush to push Ukraine out of Russia under any circumstances. Even if today Ukraine decides to end this Kursk offensive to reinforce its crumbling lines in the south, Russia will not let them escape easily. Should Ukraine attempt to withdraw from Kursk, Russian troops will pursue them, not stopping at the border. Russia will likely invade the Sumy region, compelling Ukrainian brigades to remain engaged and fight. Ukraine intends to ensure these troops do not return to the Donbass. Some pro-Ukrainian analysts are comparing the amount of territory captured by both sides, and declaring the fronts a draw. This assessment is fundamentally flawed. Conquered territory only matters if it can be effectively held. Additionally, the intrinsic value of land is rarely equal. For instance, 100 square kilometers in Silicon Valley is not the same as 100 square kilometers in the Appalachian foothills. Or in Ukraine. That shithole. The area Russia is advancing into is rich in mineral resources and potentially vast lithium deposits, whereas Kursk at most offers timber, wild game, and a few excellent fishing spots. The strategic value of these territories is not comparable. Moreover, it is widely believed that Ukraine will not invest the necessary blood and iron to hold Kursk. In sharp contrast, once Russian forces secure any territory in the Donbass, and assuming not devastating counterattacks occur in the coming weeks, those lands will become permanently Russian. Russia is capturing powerful fortifications in the Donbass, which will be nearly impossible for any future Ukrainian counterattacks to reclaim. In chess terms, Russia is temporarily conceding a pawn, Kursk, while securing a bishop and a rook, the Donbass. It remains to be seen whether Russia will next target Ukraine's queen, Odessa, or its king, Kiev. Regardless of future tactical shifts in Kursk, the Ukrainians have effectively stranded 2,000 soldiers and substantial equipment of what amounts to a strategic desert island. The Russians are approaching the situation as if it were an oil spill, deploying containment measures to limit the spread. The current battles will determine the exact boundaries of this containment. The size of the area is of little concern to the Russians. The larger Ukrainian presence in this archipelago of attrition becomes, the more troops it will have to allocate to defending this futile front. Once Russia successfully contains the threat, they can redeploy troops from Kursk to capture even more valuable Ukrainian chess pieces. This article is just colossal. It's terrible, huge. This is an article for the Brazilian. Tommy. Tommy's skull is being very cold now. I'm going to keep reading, I guess. No, I'm going to keep reading, yeah. Tommy, ven aquí, aquí. Venga. Man. We're going to be together now. Because it's too cold. Too cold, Tommy. It's too cold. I'm going to read something from TASS. Yeah, I give up because it's a nice article. I'm going to read a little more and that's it. It's nice, it's nice. This I will read this article in 2 hours or something. Just running. Plasticity in Ukrainian lies. In my piece, Quelling the Fire in Ukraine from March 2023, I explained how a successful war of attrition eventually degrades the opposite side. 18 months later, we are seeing the first signs that Ukrainian lines are indeed reaching the point of plasticity in the Donbass. What follows is a brief excerpt from Quelling the Fire. Armies along the front line behave like structural beams. Constant loading on a beam induces small deflections as well as strain and fatigue. Gradually increasing force upon the beam leads to small incremental movements. Eventually, though, if enough force is added, the beam will reach the point of plasticity. Catastrophe quickly follows, as any additional force produces dangerous bending and eventual collapse. This is Russia's goal in Ukraine, to induce the Ukrainian armed forces into a state of plasticity. Where Ukraine will either be forced to sue for peace or watch their armies collapse, allowing the Russians free rein to occupy any areas they wish. I have zero idea about war. We have an image here, concrete beam entering plasticity and at the point of collapse. I don't know what's that. What is a beam? Reducing our opponent to the point of plasticity means destroying their manpower, armaments, and fighting spirit. In wars between asymmetrically sized nations, the country with the smaller population must generate a higher killed ratio. With Russia having a population roughly 5 times that of Ukraine, 5 times that Ukraine, a simple calculation shows Ukraine must achieve a 5-to-1 kill ratio to make their war effort sustainable. If the opposite were true, if 5 Ukrainians are dying for each Russian, then over time the war is untenable. Many analysts see Russia's modest territorial gain as a sign it is losing. However, in a war of attrition, if capturing and holding vast areas of landmarks and armies kill ratio, such moves can lead to defeat. The objective is to hold strong positions which maximize enemy deaths while sparing your own fighters' lives. The strategic defensive is the ideal configuration. Historically, Russian armies have retreated and traded land for attrition. In Ukraine, both the Kharkov and Kherson retreats by Russian changed the battlefield to ensure better kill ratios for Russian forces. This means Russian offensives are effective not if they take land, but if they induce Ukrainians into high casualty defensive stance, as seems to be the case in Bakhmut. And another subtitle here, cause and effect, why now? While the current collapse in the Donbass does reflect some degree of plasticity, it appears to be, at least in part, intentionally orchestrated by the highest levels of the Ukrainian command. Lower-ranking Ukrainian officers are increasingly questioning the wisdom and loyalty of the Zelensky regime. It's better later than never. Well done, Ukraine. Zelensky is a motherfucker, you know. Zelensky is a traitor. Go after Go after Zelensky, guys. Forget about Nazism and Zelensky. Give it away, you know. Give Zelensky away. According to the Resident Telegram channel, former Ukrainian presidential advisor Oleksiy Arestovich, quote, rumors are spreading among the troops, and this is the worst thing, that the Donetsk region is simply being surrendered by agreement with the Kremlin. And this is a sign of very serious demoralization. End of quote. Resident also reports that Commander-in-Chief Alexander Syrski has officially informed President Zelensky that the Donbass defenses are collapsing and the Kursk invasion must either be called off or, at the very least, allow for transferring some reserves from the northern front to the Donbass. Zelensky has refused to compromise, insisting on maintaining and even expanding the Kursk offensive. Additionally, there are reports of Ukraine mobilizing troops in the southern Zaporizhia region for a potential assault on the local nuclear power plant currently under Russian control. Syrski has also proposed a flank attack into the large Russian salient from the north in the Vozdizhenka area. To counter this threat, Russian forces will need to capture the highway out of Pokrovsk toward Konstantinovka near Chasiv Yar. Well, I said this is a huge article about military. This is a great article to Arte da Guerra channel, Brazilian. I will try to send this to I forgot the name for the complete forgot the I don't remember now. But this is a good channel, Arte da Guerra. I'm sorry, I forgot. But I have to remember that Daniel Jadot is in prison. Daniel Jadot is innocent. Daniel Jadot is the only hope for Chile. This is a terrible situation for Chilean politics.
Culpable de corrupción a Jadwe en circunstancias que es inocente hasta que se compruebe su culpabilidad en la Corte Suprema, pero se aprovecha de involucrar de esta culpabilidad al PC y con él al gobierno. Es una movida clásica de la derecha dura que va socavando la democracia, porque cuando los ciudadanos más débiles, abandonados por el sistema, van a votar, lo hace por quienes la televisión y los titulares le han dicho que son los puros, la derecha dura. Esa es la reflexión que me dio Nancy Guzmán.
Mira, yo me quiero quedar tranquilo y les quiero dar la tranquilidad porque finalmente primero no tengo nada que esconder. A diferencia de la alcaldesa Las Condes de derecha, que le tuvieron que abrir sus cuentas vía judicial porque no las entregó voluntariamente, yo entregué todas mis cuentas voluntariamente cada vez que me la han pedido, mis cuentas de correo, todo, y lo he abierto. Yo llamo a la derecha, que está tan ansiosa por este tema, que vote en el Parlamento la eliminación del secreto bancario, de tal manera que podamos perseguir las platas ilegales, que en mi cuenta no han encontrado ninguna, que en mis correos no han encontrado ningún indicio, ni siquiera en mis celulares han encontrado ningún indicio, que nadie ha declarado, ¿no? Que no es lo mismo que pasa en otras comunas en donde se tratan de defender para que no les lleguen a las cuentas. Yo los invito a que la aprueben, se está discutiendo en el Parlamento y se oponen, ¿no? Pero además, César, te voy a decir una cosa, hay 30 alcaldes que sí metieron las manos, feo. No fue que estén discutiéndole si las acciones que cometieron, porque aquí nadie ha dicho que yo me haya quedado con un peso. De hecho, en todas las noticias que dicen nadie plantea un monto de la defraudación, es increíble, ¿no? porque hablan de procedimientos que además están en el uso de las atribuciones de cada cargo. Los convenios los aprueba el Consejo, no los aprueba el alcalde, ¿no? Y uno pregunta, oye, ¿y si los aprueba el Consejo, por qué no están formalizados todos los concejales de la época y solo el alcalde? Es raro, al menos es raro. No, en la Chifar había un directorio completo que era el que tenía el deber de la supervigilancia. ¿Por qué no está formalizado ningún otro director? ¿Por qué no está formalizado el tesorero?
I remember Farinasu. I'll show you. Well, this was Daniel Jadue in a dire situation here. He's in prison. He's been 5 months in prison. Only because well, there's a minor. Maybe he Robinson Farinasu. I guess I'm going to try to send this. I will try to send the article to him. Some social media, I don't know where. Maybe I'll say something on the comments on YouTube videos. If I see him online. Well, I guess Daniel Jadue is innocent. You know, it's just like Lula da Silva. Unfortunately, Daniel Jadue is from the Communist Party of Chile, and Chile is very anti-communist. And that's it. So I guess Daniel Jadue is innocent and have little chances of being free because Chile is still a dictatorship. That's the whole truth.